わりさえでも絡まりからけた閉塞感軽薄しらけてそしらの顔してついてくる
Welcome everybody to this top 10 best princess anime. Now stay with me, we're going somewhere good with this one. My name is Misty / Chronexia, and I get it, I said the word princess and you got immediately mind-flooded about fluffy clouds and dreamy dresses. But I've got something else in store for this list. As a heads up, just like my other lists, I'm not covering any anime movie, they're in a different league, it's just not fair to balance a TV show with a movie. But if you're looking for landmark movies, Princess Mononoke, Nausicaa, and The Tale of Princess Kaguya are absolute must-see stories about coming-of-age women. So let me tell you about a few of those stellar princess anime out there. Oh, it's that? Oh, me? No, I'm flattered, but I'm not a princess. Oh, my book! Oh yeah, I suppose I should have brought it up sooner. I just joined and teamed up with Viz Media to announce the brand new release of Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. It is an absolutely endearing manga that is coming to your bookshelf on June 12, 2018. So if you do not know about this masterpiece, let me tell you about it. It is the story about a princess who gets captured by the demons, and while she's waiting to be rescued, all she does is spend her night trying to sleep, which honestly we can all relate to. I'm personally a brand new dad, and there's nothing I hate more than getting waken up at 2 a.m. by a screaming demon. Am I talking about the book? Am I talking about my daughter? Look, I'm not gonna go on record and say it, but everyone knows I'm a sucker for a good fantasy moe slice of life comedy, and this is right up my alley. So if you would like to try it out, check out the link in the description. And now, let's get into this list.
地球の裏側で執り行われているシャルロット・ヘイゼルリンク様の奪還作戦。有馬様をはじめとする方々のことを考えていると気が気でならないのです。
Number 10, Princess Lover. Let's kick things off with something spicy. Nothing like an ecchi anime that turned into a hentai during its extra OVA episodes. Oh yes, you heard that right. Princess Lover is a fairly hidden anime from 2009 that will fill all of your harem comedy ecchi cravings. The story is about Tepe, who's taken in by his grandfather after the tragic death of his parents. But don't feel too bad for them, because they hardly even get a name. Turns out Tepe's grandpa is the owner of a wealthy organization, as a thank you for taking in Tepe, he is expected to take over once Grandada retires. Where does the princess fit in all of this? Well, one of the girl, I think we can agree is the main girl, is the princess of the Hazelring Principality. Tepe rescues her from thugs. Look, it's based on an eroge. I don't think you can expect to be such a masterpiece, but in its category, and as far as princesses goes, it's got it nailed down.
レストの人も待ってるんだから。
おかえりなさい、有馬様。
いや、帰りもと来ちゃったね、ヒッポ。人間界に。
ルチアさ、人間界に来たわけですから、そのままの姿で。
あ、そっか。
Number 9, Mermaid Melody. Nothing like swapping straight from ecchi to cute shoujo stuff. Mermaid Melody is an anime that, for the longest time, I had confused with My Bride is a Mermaid, but turns out this one isn't a wicked comedy about the adventure of a mermaid on land who meets a guy and have romantic connection with— no, wait, fuck, it's the same thing. Mermaid Melody is a kid anime about magical girls who sing. The tunes are catchy, the visuals are bright and cheery, and the theme of the show is just as pure as the rest. If you like Tokyo Mew Mew, Pretty Cure, Sailor Moon, it's all in the same vein, mermaid flavored. Oh, the princess part? Well, it's the main mermaid, she's the Ariel of Japan. Watch it if you want something cute and endearing.
Toko, Kaito.
Number 8, Dog Days. Ah yes, come in my furry-loving friend, for I have in store a surprisingly good anime just for you. Look, I don't care if it's not proper furry. If she has animal ears and a tail, it's like fucking a cat, and I'm just not into that. Anyway, back to Dog Days. This story is about an alternate world parallel to Earth. There, people have animal-like attributes, aka the ears and tail I mentioned earlier. So the dog people start getting attacked by the cat legion, and to defend themselves, the princess of the dogs summon a warrior to serve as their hero. Turns out said hero is a junior high student from good old Earth. The show is a classic isekai going to another world anime where it started with an interesting plot, and the more it went in, the more it got put on the side for fanservice instead. Still a very decent show with very beautiful art, worth it for at least the first 2 seasons.
それ私のキーホルダー龍君たちがこんなところまでこれはいよいよ放ってはおけない
何もできないわけ見ているしかできないんだね
Number 7, Scrap Princess. It's probably not a fair entry because despite being called the Scrap Princess, Pacifica, the main girl character, doesn't really have any royalty linked to it per se. But then again, this whole list is based off of an arbitrary princess title, so whatever I want to talk about this one. Scrap Princess is an anime about a girl who's the constant target to be killed. There's a prophecy linked to her that will bring chaos to the world on her 16th birthday. It's kind of like Sleeping Beauty. Together with her adoptive brother and sister, they leave the village seeking some quiet time. The anime is not very well known. If you suffer from the classic "I've seen everything," then this might be something you left out. Unless you're afflicted by the similar disease called "I've seen everything that seems good at first glance, I'm too picky to give it a chance to anything else," then they're often confused with one another. So I could see your crisis.
特務戦技兵クリストファー・アーマライトクリスでいいよ
あのね私まだドキドキしてます。お姉様が空を飛んだ時は心臓が止まるかと思いましたもの。
アンジュリーゼのそばにいると心労が絶えないね。
Number 6, Crossange. Croissant? Crossange is an anime that started off with a lot of fanservice, and a lot of people dismissed it, thinking it was just yet another smutty, no-brain anime. Well, for those who sticked around to find out, they realized there was a lot more to it, a lot more. The anime is about Princess Angelise, in her perfect kingdom, living her perfect life, until it is revealed that she's a normie. No, it's a norma, sorry. It's a norma, and everything comes crashing down. She's tossed into a prison camp, and she has to adapt to her, albeit forced, new lifestyle. The anime has an incredible social commentary on segregation, prison society, racism, and all the likes. Of course, it's peppered with blazing dragons and spicy ecchi scenes, but honestly, if it wasn't in there, the anime would be almost too heavy. It's a nice balance, and yes, I do recommend it after the first impression.
私がやろうエマ・ブロンソン監察官ノーマの相手はノーマでなくては
よくお似合いですよ姫様そろそろ中庭の方に
ダメなんか違うねえあのサラサどこにやったかしら
Number 5, Yona of the Dawn. Now we get into the outlandishly good anime about princesses. Akatsuki no Yona is a definite must-see. Despite being labeled as a shoujo romance anime, my boys, you're gonna want to get into this one. The story is about Yona, a princess living her blissful life until her father, the king, is murdered. Forced to flee the country along with her only best friend, as her bodyguard, Yona has to learn the truth about the world, which isn't as perfect as it was portrayed to her. War rages and she has to pick up arms herself as well. If you want similar anime, think of a mix between Akagami no Shirayuki Hime and Arslan Senki. It's number 5, but don't let that take anything away from this show, it's nothing shy of amazing.
手渡したかったんです
私の髪癖っ気で赤毛でちっともまとまらないのよ私
Number 4, Princess Tutu. Often disregarded because it looks like a girl show. It looks like a kid show. And well, ballet is definitely not for everyone, but I assure you this is the biggest don't judge a book by its cover anime you'll find. Before Madoka Magica was a deceiving magical girl anime, the title belonged to Princess Tutu. The story is about a duck who's turned into a living girl, and she has to use a magical pendant to turn into Princess Tutu. Is it a real princess? I don't know. Look, it's in the title, I'll give it a pass again. She has to collect shards of hearts for her prince, and well, the anime takes a really drastic dive into existentialism. If you want something light, Do not go for this anime. It will sucker punch your mind right in the gooch.
わからない。
困ったやつだな。
別にミュート様に会いに行こうと思ってる。よくばお近づきになれるかも。やっと私はウテナだけのものよ。ウテナ様、私だけのもの。
さ赤羽、お願いだからそのあなたのもの。
Number 3, Revolutionary Girl Utena. Not your typical princess anime, I'll agree, but I still had to include it because it's essentially achieves the exact same concept a princess does. The anime is a bit on the older side, as it came out in the late 90s, so expect that 3:4 ratio. Yeah, I stretched it out from my video and now you can't unsee it. Anyway, the story is about Utena, who loses her parents. Yeah, it's a common theme when you're a princess. Expect dead relatives. She gets consoled by a prince and therefore she vows herself to become a prince as well. On her quest to rescue a girl, she realizes she has to change how things are set up in the world. It's a mystery psychological drama with lots of fantasy elements. It's an all-time fan favorite even after 20 years. The anime still received mountains of praises for its forefront approach on certain themes, so try it out if you'd like.
片付けろ。
タリーナ、俺に何の用だよ。
豚が喋ってる。
Number 2, 7 Deadly Sins. You can't forget 7 Deadly Sins, especially considering it's having a brand new season right now. 7 Deadly Sins, if you never heard of it, is a really good show. That's all I would need to tell you if you were my friend in real life, but I'll meet your skepticism. The anime is about Elizabeth, the princess who sees her kingdom starting to get overthrown and she decides to seek the 7 Deadly Sins, legendary heroes who can thwart any plans. The anime is a balanced mix of action, adventure, and fantasy. You have kick-ass battles, great comedy to balance it out, and the soundtrack is simply divine. A lot of people would argue it's worth the first spot on this list, but it's kind of one of my favorite shows, so I had to give it some extra love instead. Count this one as number 1 if you want, I really don't care.
俺が誰だか分かったか。
おかえりなさい。遺跡の発掘はどうだった？怪我は？熱とか出なかった？ご飯ちゃんと食べてた？
はい、大丈夫でした。
And finally, number 1, TSUBASA Reservoir Chronicles. This is an all-time classic, you can't go wrong with this anime. TSUBASA starts off by introducing Sakura and Shaoran, two seemingly in-love teenagers, although unaware of each other's feelings. Shaoran is an archaeologist and Sakura is the kingdom's princess. When the country gets invaded by an unknown force, Sakura loses her memories in the shape of feathers and they must go through various different worlds to gather them back as they hold a lot of power. The downside is that she has to pay a price for being able to travel through the world. It's a badass action-adventure fantasy anime with an amazing cast of character and a soundtrack even better. It's shiver-inducing. I cannot sing its praises enough. This anime is a must-watch if you never got around to it. Bump it up severely on your plan-to-watch list. So that's all the princess's goodness I could find. Does anything seem appealing to you? If not, then she might be in the castle. Haha, terrible pun. Yes, I should indeed be executed for it, but thankfully we don't live in the 8th century anymore. Although if we did, there might be more princesses around. Big thanks again to Viz Media for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to get your copy of Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. The manga is coming out June 12th and it is a sincere blast to read. It's the perfect balance between cute moe stuff and rootless badassery. You'll absolutely get what I mean when you start reading it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found something to kill your boredom, but if that's not the case, I hope another video of mine can charm you. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
The hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.